Well, yesterday was quite an eventful day. So eventful that a man was killed, journalists were arrested, and members of parliament as well. Well, Maurice Mugisha joins me in the studio this evening to take us through what transpired yesterday and give us a situation analysis of events as they happened yesterday in Arua.
Thanks, Josephine. We really want to paint a picture on what really happened in Arua town yesterday with the situation report. But this is really a look at what really transpired along several streets of Arua with information we are putting together from the police, our reporters on the ground, and of course the several other eyewitnesses on the ground. So this is Arua town, which was really the focus of discussion yesterday. So we're going to focus our attention on the following places. There's about 4 key locations. Hotel Pacific, which is where Honorable Robert Chagulanyi's driver was shot dead. That will be a prime scene for us to discuss this evening. But also there is a second location we want to look at, which is Ediofe Road. Now Ediofe Road, according to police, was a scene of pelting of stones by independent candidate Kassiano Wadri's supporters on the president's convoy on its way to another location I will be discussing with you. So the other location I will be sharing with you, Josephine, also is Adumi Road. Now Adumi Road comes into the discussion because that's where Pacific Hotel is, and that was a scene of a lot of drama and chaos that involved journalists and members of parliament when they were picked up at that hotel by security operatives, including the beating, of course, of some of those people that were arrested. And then I'll take you to the other location, which is Arua Hill Primary School. Now, Arua Hill Primary School is a key location because that's where the NRM party was holding its final rally. Now, let's try and look at this in detail, because to understand what really happened, you may want to look at the movements in Arua yesterday. So, Pokea Primary School, where the graphic has just disappeared, is around here, is the location where the president's chopper was. And that's really the last, towards the tail end of our discussion this evening. So let's begin around Arua Prison, which has just moved, because Arua Prison was again the location where the independent candidate Kassiano Wadri's rally was held. I'll try and link for you the two. So here you have it. So you have Arua Hill Primary School, where the NRM had held its final rally, their candidate, Nusrat Tiperu. So you had the convoy of the president, because he was the first person to leave the rally. So you had the convoy leave Arua Hill Primary School. This convoy was making its way to Pokea Primary School, if you remember the graphic I shared. So the president was leaving Arua Hill Primary School to Pokea. The easiest route out was turn straight onto Pakwach Road. So you turn onto Pakwach Road, then he turns onto Ediofe. Now, off Pakwach Road, he meets the team that was coming from the rally, the independent candidate Kassiano Wadri's rally. This was the center of a lot of chaos, because this is where police is now telling us that clashes broke out as the president's convoy and opposition supporters met on Ediofe Road. So this is Ediofe Road, where the real clashes, as police claims, happened, where you had supporters of the independent candidate Kassiano Wadri meet the convoy of President Yoweri Museveni, and the thinking, or those who are on the ground say that the rallies ended around about the same time. So you had a team that was coming from the rally of Kassiano Wadri a few kilometers away, by the way, or a few meters away from the prison's gardens where they had held their rally. Now remember, the convoy of the president was heading to Pokea Primary School. Now Pokea really is through, you must go through Ediofe to actually get to Pokea Primary School, where the president's chopper was actually awaiting him to return to Kampala. So we need to take you now to events that followed. So that was 6:30. So come to 7 p.m. at Hotel Pacific. We are being told, and according to the police, there were several clashes roundabout from 6:30 to about 7 p.m. That's from Ediofe, and now we're going all the way to Adumi, where at 7 p.m. shots were fired at Bobby Wine's vehicle, killing his driver instantly. And of course that picture has been shared on social media widely, and you can of course imagine the scenes that transpired there. So thereafter there was a lot of drama because events that happened around Pacific Hotel turned chaotic, where you had security operatives stormed the hotel and try and pick as many people as possible, including, of course, our very own journalist, Habad Ziwa, who was making a live link for us during the 7 p.m. bulletin yesterday. So this is it. 6:30 is where really the first clashes happened with the pelting of stones on the president's convoy. The chaos continued. We are told that the chaos continued right from around the Diofe road all the way to Adumi. Now, the distance between Diofe, because Adumi is right, is roundabout down here, or no, sorry, Hotel Pacific. So you have the clashes on Diofe and Hotel Pacific. The distance between Diofe and Pacific Hotel on Adumi Road is around about 5 kilometers. So you had clashes starting off here at the Diofe and ending up all the way at Hotel Pacific, where we had Yasin Kauma killed in Honorable Robert Chagulanyi's car. However, this is so far apart. So many are wondering what really happened between the two locations. Because police says, he could have been killed by a stray bullet. So where was the gunfire? Was the gunfire, the first reported gunfire, was at Diofe, where the president's convoy had met with the supporters of Honorable Kassiano Wadri, or here at Adumi, at Hotel Pacific, where we had, of course, the real camp for Honorable Kassiano Wadri, which is where he was actually stationed, and you had all the supporters of Bobi Wine camped there. We are told the vehicle was actually awaiting the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi to travel back to Kampala, and that clashes that happened there had nothing to do with why the car was actually parked there or why people actually ended up there. Because it is reported that the supporters of Kassiano Wadri who had clashed with the president's convoy here were actually heading to Kassiano Wadri's headquarters, which are actually way away from Hotel Pacific. So that's really the detail we wanted to share and try and bring to light some of the bits and pieces of information we've been putting together since yesterday, which really involved a lot of people, the arrest of journalists and members of parliament, and of course, the death of the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi's driver in Arua town. Josephine?
Well, thank you very much, Maurice. And I know that you and the team were actually up until the wee hours of this morning trying to make sure the journalists were released and allowed to travel back home. So we're most thankful that that actually happened today. Thank you, Maurice, for that very detailed analysis of what took place.